Moe Howard's garage was shut for decades, like a silent vault containing secrets from the golden age of Hollywood. Strangers were afraid to touch it. What was beyond those doors was a mystery to everyone. However, the lid has been popped, and the contents have captivated collectors and admirers alike. Completely taken aback. For how long was it sealed? I wonder what secret Moe was attempting to keep hidden. Stay for the ride, for what really happened in that garage is more shocking than anybody could have imagined. Howard, Moses Harry, or Moe, was born on January 19, 1897, in Brooklyn, New York, was an iconic figure in the comedic troupe The Three Stooges. Moe became an iconic figure in American popular culture thanks to his slapstick acts, quick wit, and daring haircut. He performed vaudeville for many years, entertaining crowds with his jokes, television shows and movies. After a lengthy and rocky career, Moe decided to withdraw from show business in the mid-1970s. Moe died on May 4, 1975, not long after he retired. Moe resided in a house in the Hollywood Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles until his last years. It was just 9061 Thrasher Avenue from the hustle and bustle of city life. The house, which was constructed in 1960 in a modern design, has one story. The house included a swimming pool, a large backyard, 3 bedrooms, and 3 bathrooms. This mansion rested on it. With a lot size of almost 27,000 square feet, Moe and Helen have more than enough space to themselves. It was a quiet spot where they could avoid the limelight, and they had lived there for a long time together. Most individuals didn't mention the garage that was behind the main house. The typical usage of this rear garage was not fulfilled. It remained sealed after Moe's 1975 death. Moe reportedly requested its permanent closure just before he passed away. Helen allegedly made that decision following his death, according to some. The outcome was unaffected by the decision-maker. No one had opened the garage door. Just a few months later, in October 1975, Helen passed away, and the garage remained undisturbed. During its lifetime, the home traded places, but the garage door stayed firmly shut. Even among those in the know, its true nature remained shrouded in mystery. Whatever was within. Why had nobody ever touched it? Nobody dared to disrupt it, despite the fact that many others were inquisitive. In due time following, someone broke into Moe's secret garage after it had been sealed for decades. A dense cloud of dust billowed into the air as soon as the latch was turned. It had been about 50 years since the room had last been illuminated. Everything on the inside remained undamaged. Been abandoned. Silence and a sense of having been forgotten pervaded the parched chamber. Before we go into the shocking contents, let's find out why Moe's garage was sealed. Immediately following his passing and her 1925 marriage, Moe Howard took a brief break from the entertainment industry. With his family and future financially secure, he ventured into real estate. His new role as a husband dictated that he take a break from performance. But Moe returned to show business in the late 1920s, fueled by his love of performing. His coming back signaled the start of what era in which he became most famous for playing the lead role in The Three Stooges. Money was a problem for Moe and the Stooges even though they were becoming more successful. They endured chronic underpayment during their tenure with Columbia Pictures. Despite what many fans thought, the Stooges' salary didn't cover their extravagant lifestyle. How much the studio benefited from their presence. The group would earn around $7,500 for each short film they worked on in the 1930s. They each received approximately $2,500 spaced out over the year from this sum, which was divided equally among them. An annual payment of roughly $20,000 per Stoog was the result, which was a pittance when contrasted with their huge amount of work and the lasting popularity of their comedy. They were already financially frustrated, and the fact that they didn't get any residual payments made things worse. That is to say, the Stooges didn't make any more money from subsequent airings or repackaging of their shorts. When faced with time, they had no idea their efforts were paying off. They were informed that their films weren't doing very well, which made them reluctant to negotiate for greater deals. Therefore, Moe's strategy for managing his money included investing in real estate and meticulously tracking his personal choices, not huge sums of money from his acting career. After Moe passed away in 1975, his loved ones decided something specific about the garage behind his Hollywood Hills house. Relatives say the garage was purposefully sealed. The point was to make sure nobody would mess with Moe's stuff when he passed away. This encompassed worries about media coverage, inquisitive individuals, and thievery. As a gesture of reverence, the garage was left undisturbed, effectively becoming a time capsule. Even after Moe's wife Helen passed away in October of that year, it stayed that way. Now comes the time to open the long-sealed garage door to Moe's startling mementos, which he lovingly kept as part of his legacy. There was more to Moe Howard's garage than little more than a parking spot. The garage was a well-structured component of the property, built in the manner typical of mid-century Hollywood residences. Its functional and aesthetically pleasing design included smooth concrete floors, which could easily hold big vehicles and would not wear out with time. Perfect for storing instructions, tools, and replacement parts were the built-in shelves that ran along the walls. Plus, there was a spot that looked like a workbench, which might have been used for arranging car parts or doing minor repairs by Moe or someone else in the family. Of the two cars, Moe's 1952 was the first sedan from the Cadillac Series 62. This was more than simply an automobile. It was a representation of the opulence of its day, thanks to its graceful design and silky ride. An impressive 190 horsepower were generated by a 5.9-liter V8 engine that was standard on the 1952 Series 62. Block of 4 L-shaped units. The design exemplified the pinnacle of post-war American automobile styling with its chrome accents, broad bench seats, and clean, classic lines. It wasn't about show for Moe. Grace and ease were the themes. The Cadillac provided an elegant ride and looked that fit Moe's demeanor while he wasn't on camera. The second automobile was a 1967 Cadillac DeVille sedan, which Moe drove on a daily basis in his last years. This model debuted with a more contemporary look than its forerunners, including sleeker body lines and a longer and lower profile, extended chrome accents, and windows that reach over the sides. On the inside, you'd find leather upholstery, wood accents, and power conveniences like climate control and automated windows. Silent opulence was the goal when designing this vehicle. Every day, Moe opts to drive the sedan DeVille. Conveyed a taste for subtle sophistication. He wasn't looking to flaunt anything, but he did value the quality and refinement that came with a Cadillac. Substantial layers of dust indicated that neither car had been touched in decades. The framework, once intended to protect the cars from dust and light, the faint remnants of long-decayed covercloths could be made out. It was discovered that the outside and interior trim of both vehicles were in surprisingly good shape. Despite the dust, there was minimal corrosion on the engines. Wooden tables, leather chairs, details, and dashboard instruments were unharmed because the garage was a climate-controlled, sealed space. Due to the lack of moisture and sunshine, fading may be prevented. Mold and rust might also be avoided. A unique and intimate glimpse was provided by the unearthing of Moe's meticulously preserved Cadillacs. Outside of his acting career, it demonstrated how highly he esteemed his belongings. Rather than in a hedonistic fashion, one should approach it with care and consideration. This was not an exotic import or a showy sports car. Reliability, elegance, clean and well-maintained, unlike Moe. The garage and the automobiles together presented a subtle tale of a man who brought laughter to many through his self-controlled, careful existence. The automobiles weren't the only unexpected part, though. Just beyond them, another object drew the eye. Long rows of airtight containers, unattended for many years. Who knows what Moe has been hiding in them the whole time? Come on, let's examine this more closely. Encircling the antique Cadillacs were rows of meticulously arranged crates, canisters for film props, and archival storage bins. These were not just stacks of stuff. They all seemed to purposefully positioned, probably to preserve Moe's professional and personal legacy. The boxes and containers matched those used to preserve valuable documents and heirlooms. Labels in faded ink adorned some, while others were entirely unmarked, contributing to the mystery. Many people think that these boxes contained a priceless collection of memorabilia, professional tools, personal objects, and studio-related documents due to Moe's extensive career with the Three Stooges and his profound participation in the entertainment industry. Despite the lack of a formal inventory of the contents, discovered samples from comparable estate collections offer a solid indication of what might have been included within. As an example, Moe's authentic 1942 Columbia Photos identification card was sold for $11,858 at an auction that took place in the past. There was more to this ID card than merely getting into the studio. Just a little bit of Hollywood history showing his professional presence throughout the prime years of the Three Stooges. An additional priceless artifact associated with Moe that was sold at auction was a handwritten plot summary for Punch Drunks, a renowned literary short story. Pages that were beginning to yellow included pencil edits, one-liners, and margin comments that suggested Moe's quick wit and active involvement in creating the group's memorable routines. That blueprint brought in $9,799. That these artifacts from behind the scenes hold immense value for fans and collectors. Letters, checks, and formal documents from individuals may have also been contained in the boxes. Correspondence. Rare and valuable artifacts, such as a 1971 check signed by Moe, have been discovered at previous estate sales. Beyond the spotlight and the camera, these artifacts provide a window into the life of a comedy legend. How about we fill you in on a few more priceless anecdotes from Moe's past, kept within those airtight containers? An astounding find in Moe Howard's garage was a 1971 check that was framed and autographed. A monochrome snapshot of Moe with Larry and Curly that has survived. He and his wife Helen had a joint account, and the check was written on it. It was dated September 21st. It provided an extraordinarily personal glimpse into Moe's life since it had a visible bank certification and his clear signature in pen. Collectors interested in acquiring physical representations of Moe's private life paid close attention to this item when it was subsequently auctioned off at heritage auctions. An additional important artifact that was found was Moe's membership card from the Screen Actors Guild, which was dated November 12, 1974. The fact that Moe had used blue ink to create and sign his own name on the card made it unique. This card went from being ordinary to a collector's treasure because to the signature item. It was listed with a guarantee of authenticity by heritage auctions, and it demonstrated how ordinary things can acquire great historical significance when associated with famous people. Curators discovered promotional materials and vintage posters from Moe's cinematic career as they dug further into the archive boxes. I treasured the original lobby cards and posters from Stug classics like Calling All Cours, 1939, and Civil Wars, 1935. Stored flat and shielded from sunlight, these artifacts were remarkably undamaged. At some point, a single poster advertising the Civil War went up for auction with $30,000 is the approximate worth. Also, over $6,500 was retrieved after a call to all Cours. Their Stug-related nostalgia and relative rarity drive up their prices. Even promotional materials weren't spared from the collection. Within were private correspondence, poetry, and dedication pages that had been handwritten. Written by Moe's son. Helen, his wife, and Joan, his daughter, were the recipients of some. Among his emotional dedications was one that appeared to be a rough copy of his autobiography. It had deeply felt thoughts about family, growing old, and celebrity. The experience was sold at auction with home video cassettes and picture albums. Every piece provides a personal glimpse into Moe's life outside of the show. Later on, they had their autograph displays, which included albums with Moe and Curly's signatures on them, as well as original vintage photos matted with them. At historic auctions, these sets fetched prices in the low hundreds. Symbolic of the enduring bond that fans have with Moe's work, these autographs were more than simply a piece of Hollywood history. Even though hearing about the concealed startled many, the auction of the valuables discovered in Moe Howard's garage was a smashing success, and what's more interesting is the reaction of the fans to all of this. I'll let you up on their reaction. Fans were filled with joy and deep contemplation upon learning of Moe Howard's locked garage, which had been hidden for decades after his death. The mystery remains, even after its public auction yielded long-lost artifacts from the Three Stooges' golden age. Initially, why was the garage sealed? Intriguingly, this act's motivations include a person's past, their family's choices, and Moe's enduring devotion from his admirers. Studio's treatment of Moe and the other Stooges is a common source of fan ire on Reddit. Despite their immense fame and global appeal, they barely got royalties for their comedic shorts, which were shown on TV nonstop for decades. Because of this unfairness, many assumed that Moe led an unusually austere life, viewing his possessions not as valuables but as components of who he was. Some think that Moe was very careful with his belongings, not for financial gain but to protect his legacy, since he knew he wouldn't be paid in full while he was alive. Here, the locked garage serves as more than just storage. It becomes a safe haven for one's honor and good name, shielded from any potential abuse or misunderstanding. Some have proposed a less intentional explanation, such as the passage of time causing the garage's once proud history to gradually fade into oblivion. With the passing of Moe's immediate relatives and no immediate, without successors to carry on the tradition, the garage retreated into oblivion. Some have compared it to a tomb, a forgotten relic from a bygone age that has been preserved in stone through neglect rather than deliberate design. Moe was more than simply a comic. For his devoted followers, he personified the carefree days of youth, the power to bounce back from adversity, and the heyday of comic relief. They speak highly of him, praising his family manhood, comedic talent, and role as the Three Stooges' beating heart. The sealed garage is more than just a room full of mementos for those who grew up watching Moe on screen. The place is sacred. Their recollections were molded by the man. Moe Howard's impact goes well beyond his iconic bowl cut and comical punches. Beyond being the head stoog, he was more. In the trio, he served as the linchpin, a pioneer who maintained the clan enduring difficulties in the entertainment industry for many years. An unfaltering faith in the transformative power of laughter propelled him from modest origins to his status as one of the most famous faces in comedy. In Moe's formative years, an enthusiasm for the stage and a desire to entertain. The working-class Jewish family of Moses Harry Horowitz was born in Brooklyn in 1897. Moe was born in 1897. He always planned to be a performer, even as a little boy. He did not drop out of high school due to disobedience, but rather to pursue a fantasize about. He struggled to find a steady career path in the entertainment industry during his early years, when prospects were few, and spent years performing in tiny vaudeville gigs, frequently going on very little. When Moe allied with Ted Healy and enlisted the help of his brother HMP and, subsequently, Larry Fine, things started to shift. This cooperation developed over time, transformed into the Three Stooges beloved by fans today. The trio's success was due in large part to Moe's initiative and direction. Despite the prevalence of physical humor involving Curly and Larry, Moe consistently stole the show with his stern yet entertaining antics. The employer responsible for the now famous tongue thrusts and hits precisely at the right moment. However, the Three Stooges did not receive fair compensation for the success they brought to studios, even though they were famous. Reruns of their shorts, which have subsequently made millions, did not pay them any residuals. Moe, a clever one, lived frugally and kept his personal life out of the spotlight, was extremely practical, and was good with money. Many of his possessions, according to his admirers, were locked up in his garage for decades. He may have done this to safeguard his family's privacy and ensure that his legacy would be remembered the way he wanted it. Many people still hold Moe's legacy in high regard and honor it today. Admirers. The fact that Moe and the Stooges have museums like the Stugum in Amler, Pennsylvania shows how much love and respect they still have. More than 100,000 Stug-related objects, including rare memorabilia, costumes, and original screenplays, are housed in this one-of-a-kind museum that spans 3 entire levels. Stuff that belonged to Curly, Moe, and Larry. In fact, there's a theater there that periodically screens Stug shorts, giving viewers a taste of the classic film experience. As a tangible memorial to decades of joy, it is a hallowed ground for Stug devotees. Not only is the Stugum a cultural institution, It is where all the Stug fans congregate. People travel from all over the world to attend the annual events, question and answer sessions, and meetups hosted by the museum, where fans and collectors gather to honor Moe's lasting impact. That the Stooges are once again popular achieved a moving zenith in July 2025, when the first ever public gathering of Moe Curly and SHMP's descendants, the Howard family, took place. The gathering, which took place close to Los Angeles, paid homage to the original Stooges with moving speeches, recollections, and tributes. Members of the younger generation made their wish to continue the family tradition, an act that touched followers to their core. It wasn't merely about paying homage to the deceased. The purpose was to preserve Moe and his brother's humanity, sense of humor, and principles for the benefit of generations to come. More than Moe Howard. In addition to stand-up comedy, the legacy he left behind is still going strong and uniting people today. His incredible rise from struggling artist to beloved comedy icon is a moving testament to the power of passion and determination to leave an indelible mark on culture. In your opinion, what regarding the unexpected things found in Moe's garage? Are you of the opinion that they reveal more about his personal life or that they should remain hidden indefinitely? Feel free to provide your opinions in the space provided. Your opinion is much appreciated.